A bizarre situation unfolding in West Jordan where a mother apparently shot her son in the leg with a bow and arrow. What we're learning from police tonight.
It was unlike any other experience I've had with my camera, and the most unexpected, occurrences are the best ones to capture.
A new twist in the mysterious Utah monolith. The metal statue has vanished. What the BLM believes happened in the middle of the night.
And after being missing for more than 24 hours, a southern Utah boy has been found safe and sound. Hear about the massive discovery effort to bring this teenaged hiker home.
And Valley haze continues to build. Any chance of storms to help mix it out? I'll let you know in the forecast.
Live from Utah's news leader, Fox 13 News at 9 starts right now.
Well, new details are emerging on last night's bizarre bow and arrow incident in West Jordan. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. I'm Amy Nay.
And I'm Brian Schnee. What started as a very strange set of circumstances has now turned into a domestic violence situation that apparently has a very long history.
Fox 13 Spencer Joseph spoke with police and neighbors today. Spencer joining us right now. What have you found out about this one?
Yeah, well, one thing we found out this evening is the relationship between the two of them. It's mother and son, although it's a little bit strange because they're not blood related, although they have lived together for some time. The other thing we've been able to find out is police have visited this home multiple times in the past, and not only have police visited it, but Fox 13 has as well for a shooting back in August. We'll tell you about that in a moment, but the big thing is this is just a very strange set of circumstances that police are still trying to piece together.
Very serious case, a little bit strange, a little bit bizarre.
Friday evening, police were dispatched to some sort of fight. What they found when they got there:
The mother was on the roof armed with the bow and arrow. And we know that she shot at least 2 arrows. One of them struck the car and the other one ended up striking the son in the leg.
Witnesses allegedly hearing her say to her son, quote, to not come back or she would kill him. When her son ran off, she allegedly got down off the roof.
We know that the mother got on a four-wheeler at some point and was driving around, chasing him, trying to find him.
After being arrested, this woman, Chelsea Huggins, told police her 17-year-old son stole her car. After talking him into bringing it back home, she was waiting on the roof with a bow and arrow and opened fire on him when he got there.
She has been booked on several charges in relation to this case.
But this isn't the first time police have been at the home.
The house is known to us.
Fox 13 was at this very same house back on August 25th for a shooting that left one person in critical condition.
The people that live in the house are known to us, and we're obviously the same parties involved in this.
And it's something neighbors are not very happy about.
The neighbors had called us on this incident yesterday as it was unfolding.
One telling Fox 13 in part, quote, we are concerned because this is the second time we've had violence escalate at this home. Going on to say, quote, I don't like living in fear of letting my kids walk to their friend's house or school with the threat of something happening to them. As for the investigation, they're still trying to piece together some of the details, but one thing's for certain.
It's just a very unique case, obviously not something that we see often in terms of somebody being shot with a bow and arrow, but a bow and arrow definitely used under these circumstances could very much be a deadly weapon.
So as for the charges I mentioned earlier, even though they aren't blood related, they call each other mother and son, which means this is a form of domestic violence. So child abuse is one of those two charges. The other one is aggravated assault. As for the son's condition, we didn't get an update tonight, but we do know he's being treated at a local hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. In West Jordan, Spencer Joseph, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Spencer, thank you. Today, the state saw another 2,000 new COVID-19 cases, bringing the total to just over 192,000 cases so far. The 7-day positivity rate has fallen slightly, again to just over 21%. There are currently 573 people hospitalized due to the virus here in Utah. More than 200 of those are in intensive care.
9 more men, 5 more women losing their lives to COVID-19 reported in the state of Utah today. This brings the total number of deaths attributed to the virus to 863. Now, 3 of those deaths reported today under the age of 45. One was less than 65 years old, and the rest were 65 or older. A group of anti-maskers holding a store walkthrough in Taylorsville today, of course, without face coverings.
Now, Fox 13's Diego Romo spoke with the protesters and a Harmon's manager about the demonstration.
About 20 people gathered in Taylorsville to express their frustrations with the governor's mask mandate.
I see some people with glass masks, M5 masks. I see people with gas masks. No one has come out and said, hey, you have to wear this kind of mask and make it a law. There's no law. It's a mandate. What is that?
Those participating in the walk, formed from the Concerned Citizens of Utah Facebook group, walked through stores without masks on, including the Harmon's on Redwood Road.
You know, the reason why Harmon's is so adamant about wearing masks is, you know, the professionals are pretty much in agreement for the most part that this is the best thing to do to keep our community safe.
Kent added that the ultimate goal of requiring masks in the store is to keep shoppers and staff safe.
The more we all work together, the quicker we get through this.
The organizer of the walkthrough said they oppose the mandate in the name of individual rights.
But what we have a problem with is them infringing on our constitutional rights and trying to mandate a mask that unfortunately doesn't work.
According to a study done by BYU posted on the state's coronavirus website, there is evidence that shows wearing masks significantly reduces the spread of COVID-19.
So what are your thoughts when you see this group walking through with no mask, purposely walking through with no mask to come in and protest?
My thing when they walk in there, my thought is they don't have somebody that died or somebody that's got it who's really ill, you know, from this matter. And when that happens, they will have a whole change of outlook.
Joseph's daughter got COVID-19 a few months back and is dealing with lingering symptoms.
COVID is real, but for 6 weeks now, these tough mandates to wear a mask, and in a lot of cities and states, 3 to 5 times the cases have increased.
And although he believes COVID and the pandemic are real issues,
that's a fallacy, guys. It's truth, it's a fallacy. Masks aren't working.
If you want to learn more about the governor's mask mandate and the study about their effectiveness, head over to the state's coronavirus webpage. We'll link you over at fox13now.com. In Taylorsville, Diego Romo, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Breck Bolton joining us in the Weather Center tonight. A beautiful day for many across the state, Breck, but that haze could be a concern for days to come, at least along the Wasatch Front, right?
Absolutely. Visibly noticing a difference here as we contrast it to yesterday, where that haze building in along the Wasatch Front with these cold temperatures overnight, these valley inversions quickly setting up. Thus, we're not mixing out as well throughout the day. Want to share, though, a photo coming in from Scott Taylor. Down in Lehigh, you look off in the distance, you see the haze. Also noticing the clear skies, you see that state landmark of Lehigh Roller Mills. Thanks to Footlifts there to give us that landmark as we show you across the state right now. Air quality, it's a little bit more of a concern across extreme northern Utah. Cache County through Box Elder County, it's moderate concern. You see a lot of yellow dots. As you're transitioning, though, into Salt Lake and Utah counties, noticing, yes, the yellow, but also a little bit of orange. So beginning to move more in that moderate, even kind of threatening in that unhealthy category as we progress here tonight through tomorrow. So air quality, yes, becoming more of a concern as we're going to see that valley haze sticking around. Highs, though, today, as we did get slightly above normal, where we did reach 40 degrees in Logan, 45 in Salt Lake City, the official high in Price, 44, upper 40s in Cedar City, only low 50s in St. George, and temperatures due to the clear skies quickly cooling off. We're already down to the 20s from Logan through Ogden, currently 30 degrees in Salt Lake City, upper 20s in Cedar City. As we're going to be looking at just a few high clouds pushing through northern Utah, expect to see these clear skies. Then for tonight, as temperatures cool off in the low 20s as we look in Salt Lake City and for most of the Wasatch Front. High pressure building in. We're keeping it clear for now, but we're still tracking that cold front on the way. When does it get here? I'll let you know coming up.
Thanks so much, Breck. A South Jordan police officer is behind bars after reportedly kidnapping someone on Thanksgiving.
Well, that officer attributing this series of events to his being watched by an unknown organization, he says. This involves Master Officer Scott Elliott Russell. He's been with the South Jordan Police Department for over 15 years.
Court documents say Officer Russell reportedly became, quote, irrational and paranoid when he refused to take a victim home before a family dinner in Provo. Russell then crashed his car at a river embankment in Juab County. He disabled the victim's phone, told them to lie on the ground and remove any personal belongings. Documents say Russell got rid of his gun to reportedly show the people who were watching him that he was not a threat. After Russell left the scene, the victim escaped to I-15 to get help and then get to the hospital. At this point, Officer Russell is being held without bail. We'll keep you posted on this developing story as we learn more.
Today, the Nephi Fire Department honoring one of their own with a ceremonial raising of the American flag. Firefighter Mike Brown passing away on Monday at the age of 51. Today, the department stood in solitude as the U.S. flag was raised in his honor. Brown joined the Nephi Fire Department in 1991 and was still an active member at the time of his passing. Brown's cause of death has not been released.
It has been 6 months since Ogden police officer Nate Lede was killed in the line of duty. Now today, the Ogden VFW and the Till Valhalla Project presented Officer Lede's wife, Ashley, with a memorial plaque and a U.S. flag. Officer Lede was shot and killed while responding to a domestic violence call. The 24-year-old officer was only on the job for 15 months when he died. Ogden police said on social media, quote, "We miss you, Nate. You are gone, but you will never be forgotten."
The mystery continues in the deserts of Utah. The now infamous Utah monolith disappears in the middle of the night.
On the ground here, you can literally see fresh tracks of some kind of wheel that hauled this thing out of here.
Today, an Instagram user posting these videos showing the place where the piece of metal was originally found, now empty. The hiker telling Fox 13 they had driven about 8 hours to see the strange, newly found attraction. They also say they think they saw the people who took the statue driving away with it in their truck bed in the middle of the night.
We entered the cove there at the end of the Slot Canyon to find nothing there but a message written in the dirt where the monolith stood, as well as somebody defecated there.
Bureau of Land Management Utah replying to our inquiries with a statement that said, "We have received credible reports that the illegally installed structure referred to as the monolith has been removed from Bureau of Land Management public lands by an unknown party."
In southern Utah, a 15-year-old boy that went missing for more than 24 hours after he went on a hike with his family has now been found alive. Some good news there. A search and rescue team with the Utah Department of Public Safety retrieved Britton Kelsey via helicopter this afternoon. Britton was hiking at Red Mountain Trailhead near Dameron Valley in St. George yesterday afternoon. He apparently fell behind in the hike after his family split into 2 groups, and he went missing from there. Everyone from Washington County Sheriff's deputies, Utah Highway Patrol, and even St. George residents joined in the effort to bring Britton home.
We've had a few hundred people here. A lot of people from Washington County and other parts of the state have come to help. It's been awesome. I'd like to thank them all for their wonderful support.
Well, that's the outcome that you would like to see. Despite being treated for hypothermia, Britton's cousin tells Fox 13 that he was found unharmed, and he has since been reunited with his parents.
I actually was concerned from the beginning that we would not get this done.
But get it done they did. Still ahead, see how one group of people came together to protect the Bonneville Shoreline Trail.
And today is Small Business Saturday. See how local shops worked hard to get Utahns to support local. We'll be right back. Thanks for joining us. Local stores across the state spent the day welcoming in customers for an unusual Shop Small Saturday.
I am just really thankful for all the support that we've seen over the weekend, and especially just through this whole pandemic. It's been a really wild, tough year for all these small businesses. And having the community come out and show their support and really care is just so great.
Shop Small Saturday, also known as Small Business Saturday, has traditionally been held right the day following Black Friday for more than a decade now. Economists say buying local really gives shoppers a chance to keep their money in their communities.
A local community group has come together to help stop a popular hiking trail from being broken up. Fox 13's Aaron Cox shows us the series of events that made this deal possible.
The Bonneville Shoreline Trail connects trails from Logan to Provo. Developers were looking to break that connection.
Today, standing here is really a watershed moment in protecting a piece of property that was destined for development.
The property's owners plan to turn this 26-acre patch of land near the entrance to Little Cottonwood Canyon into a subdivision. The 11 lots of land would have cut this portion of the Bonneville Trail.
This is the entrance to our canyons. And when people come to recreate and spend their tourism dollars here in the state of Utah, this is what they pass by.
Utah Open Lands worked to preserve the area, though they knew it would be an uphill battle.
When we came out of the gates and the need was to raise $3 million, there's no question that people were skeptical.
The skepticism was replaced with optimism as people began to support the preservation campaign.
We had a challenge grant from the AHECI Trust. We had 4 different cities, Salt Lake County, Salt Lake City Public Utilities, Draper, Sandy, Cottonwood Heights, all came together along with 500 individual donations to make this happen.
The landowners reduced their prize by over $1 million and donated 1/3 of the property. Earlier this week, Utah Open Lands announced the purchase and their plans to keep the area as an open space for folks to enjoy.
This is probably a great part of Utah's calling card for the state, for people who want to live, work, and play here. This is part of our quality of life.
Erin Cox, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Well, speaking of our quality of life, air quality, definitely, if it is good, helping to improve our life, where today it was more of a concern across portions of northern Utah. Again, sharing another photo from a viewer. This is Saratoga Springs from Chris Williams, looking off in the distance. Looks nice, blue sky, but again, that valley haze building in just a little bit. And sometimes, depending on the sun angle, and really as we look towards the south end of Salt Lake Valley into Utah County, noticeably that haze a little bit thicker as we progress throughout the day. And air quality, as we were in a moderate concern level, that's where we're staying, and really kind of pushing maybe towards that unhealthy category for some locations. As mentioned, Salt Lake Valley down through Utah County, that's a possibility tomorrow into Monday as well. Improvements expected as we head into Tuesday. We'll talk about the reason why in just a few moments, but let's look at the high today. 45 degrees on average. We should be in the low 40s. Your sunrise at 7:30, sunset tonight here at 5:02. As we stand in the 20s, Ogden, Provo already. It's going to be a cold night due to these mostly clear skies. Winds look to remain calm, and temperatures potentially maybe even a little bit colder than what we found here this morning. But we're heading in the right direction with the thermometer, in that as high pressure will be in place tomorrow, looks like we could potentially see some slightly warmer temperatures and pushing that thermometer up even Monday, where in some valley locations along the Wasatch Front, we might even see some low 50s. Dry cold front hits, though. Looks like late Monday into Tuesday morning. That's still on tap. Looking long range, are there any storms out there that's really going to be shaking things up, bringing more winter weather and bringing that precipitation, which we desperately need? Now, as we take a look at the car wash forecast yesterday, you were definitely good to go. Tomorrow, Monday, also it will be clear in that there's no concerns to dirty up that car. Now, for the situation right now, again, high pressure building in. We are seeing a few high level clouds tracking through northern Utah. No activity from radar. This is just high-level clouds pushing through, and they'll quickly sweep in and be out of here by tomorrow morning. So we're going to be looking at, once again, sunny skies and still a little bit of that valley haze around. But with that high pressure in place, and typically as we move closer towards the winter months, high pressure is not good as far as it keeps the storms away, and it doesn't allow us to really mix out. So this is a scenario that valley haze can kind of thrive and can continue to increase, which potentially that's the case for tomorrow into Monday. But one thing we're keeping an eye on is this dry cold front that will push through. That'll help mix things out just a little bit as we transition into Tuesday. Bringing that cold air aloft allows that air to kind of be able to funnel out, and we get to kind of scour out that bad air. It doesn't quite do the trick. We really need a good storm that brings the winds, the precipitation, and that cold air. But all we'll get from this one is just some slightly cooler air. So as we take a look at the computer models, next 48 hours, again tomorrow it's clear, it's sunny statewide. As we head into Monday, starting off, keeping the sunshine. And then we see that cold front tracking through again late Monday night through early Tuesday, impacting northern, central, and eastern Utah. Tonight then, under mostly clear skies, you can see your overnight lows. 20s along the Wasatch Front, teens in Park City as well as in Cedar City. Tomorrow we're close to 50 degrees in Provo, mid-40s in Price, close to 50 degrees in Moab. Again, it's sunny, but along the Wasatch Front, we're still holding on to that haze. Southern Utah, warming up to 60 degrees. Cool front drops temperatures on Tuesday. We're clear and good to go until the weekend as we'll get back into the upper 50s by Friday and Saturday. Northern Utah, it's 40s to upper 40s, and then the cool down, and then we just kind of stay in that low 40 range moving into the weekend. No storms on the way. We don't see things really changing here for the next 10 to 14 days.
Still to come, hear about the potential connection between pollution and academic performance among some Salt Lake County students when we come back. Welcome back. It's no secret that pollution in Utah can create some problems for everyone, including breathing issues, a lack of sunshine in the winter.
Yeah, it's no good, but turns out it may also be causing problems for our students in the classroom. Fox 13's Bob Evans talked with those behind a study about what they found.
On average, the schools in our study had 18.5 days of peak pollution exposure.
A new study from the University of Utah shows a correlation between higher pollution and lower test scores in Salt Lake County schools.
One additional day of peak pollution exposure was associated with a 1.5% increase in children testing below proficient in math and a 1.8% increase in children testing below proficient in English language arts.
Researcher Casey Mullins is concerned because the study looks at peak pollution days that are well below the Environmental Protection Agency's standards.
So one important takeaway with our study is that potentially parents could advocate for legislators to ask for EPA standards to be lowered even further.
In fact, researchers hope these findings can help shape the future of city planning in Utah.
We can still work towards protecting our children better with that sort of information in mind.
They recommend lowering the federal air pollution standards, changing state regulations to prevent building new schools near known polluters, schools investing in better air filtration for classrooms, and looking into a new field of study surrounding thrive zones.
And sometimes that just means adding more vegetation throughout the way they're walking to and from school.
Thrive zones, or clean air routes, involve designing towns in ways that allow for less pollution exposure for children on their way to school.
You know, are they walking by idling cars and bus stops? Are they walking by a lot of stop signs? Are they near highways? All of these things, it's just a way of working with urban planners to build cities in the way that can help protect people from air pollution exposure better.
Researchers hope to expand this study to more than Salt Lake County and to see more test scores to track students as they grow, to see the possible pollution impact over the years. To see the full results of the study, go to fox13now.com. Bob Evans, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Around the corner in sports, BYU Hoops eyeing a 3-0 start. Got to get past crosstown cousin UVU, though. While it was the tale of two halves for the Utes on Saturday, could Kyle Whittingham and company survive at Washington? Back in a bit. The University of Washington drawing an opponent from here in Utah after all. After talks with BYU quickly fell apart, the Huskies scheduling a conference foe instead. The Utes did not look sharp in week one, so bring on game number 2. Jake Bentley now the uncontested guy under center following the loss of Cam Rising. The turnover margin not working in Utah's favor last week against SC. They get the early pick in Seattle, though. True freshman Fabian Marks watches the ball come right to him. A pick that set up Bentley, punching it home. He's known as a drop back, but uses the feet after the rollout there. Then next quarter, Devin Brumfield adding 7 more after the short scamper. The Huskies then missing a field goal, giving the grad senior a chance to give Red a 21-0 halftime advantage, calling corner pocket and has Brian Thompson, but the UW would come out angry and own the third. 17 unanswered in the quarter after Dylan Morris pinpoints his guy, Cade Otten. Go to the fourth. The Huskies trying to cap their biggest comeback in 32 years. Same tandem, Morris to Otten again, this time with 36 seconds left. Bentley needing to get his guys in field goal range to have a chance, but instead throws interception number 2 as the Utes fall to 0-2 on the season. Tough one for sure. Mark Pope has now been on both sides of the crosstown clash, this time wearing blue as Pope faced his former club Utah Valley for the first time. Speaking of firsts, Matt Harms' BYU debut after sitting out the first 2 games with a sore ankle. The Purdue transfer contributing 10 points at the Marriott Center tonight. UVU, though, doubling up the Cougs at 16-8, a game-high 24 by Trey Woodbury. Blue with a spurt to get the lead back. Alex Barcelo was money hands in the first half. Pops from the corner. Nice play here by Green. Woodbury lobs to a streaking Jamison Overton, only to watch the Y score 8 straight to end the half. Tough shot, Barcelo. To beat the horn, yes, sir. BYU up 14, adding to their lead in the second. Brandon Averett, one of 3 former Wolverines, now on Blues roster. One of 5 Cougs in double figures as they sail by 22 to stay perfect. And this is fascinating. You can catch Broncos Saints tomorrow afternoon right here on Fox 13. But guess who's starting for Denver at quarterback? Most likely it'll be running back Royce Freeman after all 4 QBs on the roster have been deemed a COVID risk. Meanwhile, New Orleans has their guy. That would be Taysom Hill for the 2nd consecutive week.
There are a lot of really great players that just didn't get opportunities in the NFL. And these opportunities are few and far between. So, my mindset is to do everything I can to take advantage of every single opportunity.
Busy day tomorrow right here on Fox 13. Thank you, Morgan. Thanks for watching Fox 13 News at 9.
Quick Cast coming up next.